sure that you don't have it long enough that it also spoils. So you have to strike that balance. So that's what inventory management is about. So because I have that domain knowledge going through industrial production engineering, and I also have expertise in software engineering, I was able to build a software. We were able to build a software that combined the two. So it kind of predicts, it forecasts your demand. Okay, for today, for this particular product, we are expecting to sell so units of this product. And then there's also this thing called lead time. If you want to order something from Jumia, it takes 3 days or it takes 5 days. So let's take, for example, the AI is able to help you evaluate that. Okay, you have um, you have 100 units of commodity X in your store. Let's say you sell 50 per day. If you sell 50 per day, it means it goes in 2 days. Now, if the lead time is 3 days, which means if you place another today, it comes the day after tomorrow. It means there will be a day where you are unable to what service your customers. So the AI is able to calculate that, okay, your lead time for this product is this, so you should place your order now. And when you place your order, place this certain quantity so that you don't run into loss. So you see how I was able to use my own domain knowledge. A CS student, a pure CS student can't do that. A pure software engineering student can't do that. So if you're in school studying any course, you should probably also try to focus on problems you can use your expertise to solve. Then it's a time-bound endeavor. It's usually 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, depending on the Nigerian courses. So it will at some point leave. So just push through, and then it's better to have what you need, what you don't need, and having needing what you don't have. So I think this makes sense, right? You don't know where you need your education. That's why I just finished, and then my mom is forcing me to go for NYSC. I don't want to go, but I don't know when I'll need it. Just following this principle, it's better to just have the certificate and keep it than need it and I don't have it. All right, so let's talk about me. All right, so I'm a recent graduate. I finished with 4.77, so that's the first class. I picked up programming in 2018. That was after my first year. I have experience in AI banquet. I started with AI because I started with Python. So usually when you start with Python, you go into data science, non-Python finance, and so on. Then I also did various roles, so I'm not a nerd. So I was a class rep, that's class governor. You have to run around to set venues. Nigerian universities, you don't have enough classes, so you have to stay in school, maybe in class, maybe 20 minutes before the actual lecture period to check if that venue is free. Run etta skater. Then I was a football player. I played the defense. And then I play mobile pairs, I play table tennis, so I'm not a nerd. So in case you're thinking you have to be a nerd to combine the two, or you have to be a nerd to be a software engineer, no. You can have everything. All right, so we've gotten that ordered way, so let's go. All right, so basically we talk about core values. I'm pretty sure there'll be people here that will say you shouldn't have animation in your presentation, it distracts people. Apologies. But so I'll talk about hard work. It's no brainer. You need to be hardworking. There will be moments you'd have to go from classes to meetings to working and so on and so forth. There was a time I was working in a company where we were building an accounting software. I'm an engineering major, right, and software engineering. So I had to start taking accounting lessons with accountants in the company. So I was basically an accounting student, an engineering student, and a software engineer in one day. So usually I go to class during the day. In the evening, I take accounting lessons, and maybe overnight you code. So it's difficult, obviously. No one wants to work that hard, but so that's just getting that out of the way. Then you also have to be humble, because if you are going this path, you would need assistance and help from people. You need to be able to speak to people to assist you. So a good experience with this was, and I was lucky to learn this very early on. So the first few months of 100 level, I came into school. I cleared my papers once, like the jam, the posture, and everything. I did it once. So I came with obviously a bit of confidence that, okay, I sabi this thing, I can do this thing. Then we went to night class with some of my friends, and then there was this topic we were studying, and these guys got it in about 2 hours. 3 days later, I was still struggling with the topic. So that was the first reality check that I don't sabi anything. And then there are people that are better than you. So you have to be humble enough to know that, because it will help you. Then you also have to talk about communication. So I said 3 days later, I spoke to one of them to teach me, and I promise you, in 1 hour, I'm not lying, I understood the topic. So I struggled with something for 3 days. Then I spoke to someone that understood, one of my friends, and then she was able to explain to me in 1 hour. So communication, you need to be able to communicate. After accepting that we may be good, but there are also people that are good, and it's better you just come together. Collaboration over competition. It always wins every time. There's no point competing. So you need to be able to communicate. Another example of communication is every company I've interviewed at, I always tell them I'm a student. I also tell them I'm a first class student, and that I picked up programming while in school. Which means if I've been able to, so if you've seen my CV and you consider me worthy of being in an interview with you, and I also have a good standing in my academics, then you shouldn't be bothered because obviously they'll have concerns that we do prioritize their school, their work over school, right? So I'm able to tell them that okay, I'm a student, but look at it, I have experience that is worthy of getting an interview with you, but also maintaining a good grade. So this assures them, but it also lets them know that at some point I'll take leave because I have to study for tests and exams. So I won't have to be struggling, okay, not delivering, not knowing that I'm taking an exam. Like, why are you not delivering? So I'm able to tell them, okay, hello, I'm in class. I'll call you back. If there's a meeting, maybe I need to follow up with somebody or my team lead needs to explain an implementation to me. I can tell them that, okay, please, let's meet up 12. I'm currently in class. So it makes it less stressful trying to dodge, not let them know you're a student. Then talk about relationships. So basically your friends, I mentioned about how my friends help me. So I also have friends that push me to work hard. I have this particular friend, if we do maybe 8 to 6 class, maybe class from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. back to back, this guy only needs to eat and is ready to study overnight again. I obviously can't do that. But that's one that pushes you. Like, you have a friend, you are aiming for the same thing, and then after a full day in class, he doesn't even need to sleep, he just needs to eat, and then he's able to study. Me, I can't do that, but at least pushed me a bit. I also had a roommate, like throughout my stay in school, we were roommates. This guy wake up maybe 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and is able to study. I'm not able to do that also. I can either study through the night, that is from the night to the morning, but to wake up, sleep is too sweet to wake up in the middle and say, I want to read. So me, I can't do that. But again, anytime I grow and I see him studying, makes me know that if I wake up, there's no play for me that I have to study also. So it's just like they push us, we push yourself. Then also talking about friends, also the people that have helped me the most in my software engineering career have been my friends. Starting from the AI days, who knows about Andrew Ng AI specialization course? Right, so back then in 2020, we took the entire specialization with my friends. So midnight, we are just there, giving ourselves morale, boosting ourselves. We took all this competition, DSN, bootcamp. We took, so at times we came first. No, I didn't come first before, but so at times we come second, third, fourth. Like, we just kept boosting ourselves. And then when we even went to backend, we migrated to backend because we were not seeing money in data science. We all moved together. Like, I can count 5 of my friends that we So I can count about 5 of my friends that we migrated from AI to backend. You can almost see it's almost like a trend. So your relationships. And then I also have a friend who's currently a lead engineer in one of these international companies. He's a very good friend of mine, and I can't count the number of things I've learned from him. To the outside world, he's a lead engineer. This guy must be a genius, like must be a great software engineer. But to me, he's my friend, and I'm able to leverage that relationship to learn from him. At times, I just message him after profession. I'm trying to implement X, Y, Z. I have these alternatives. And then this guy just comes out of the blue and brings another alternative that is way better. And then I might not have come across it if I didn't reach out to him. So yeah, your relationships, you should prioritize them. And then you should also have value, because you can't attract people that have value if you don't have something to offer also. That sounds like Aspire to Maguire. But that's by the way. Then teamwork. So this is very important. I mentioned I was a class rep, so I had to run Elter Skelter to do this and do that. But that was only in the early days of university. Towards 300 level, 400 level, I had people that were offering to do these things for me. There's maybe people that stay in the hostel because I stay off campus. People that stay in the hostel, that's okay for it. I'll go early to class so that I can find a free venue for us. When I get a free venue, I'll call you to inform the lecturer. Maybe you want to collect an assignment for the whole school, for the whole class. At times, you'd have to stay in a particular venue so that people can come and submit to you. I have work, I can't do that. So I had friends that also help with that. At the end of the day, I became more or less a people manager, in the sense that people get this stuff done for me willingly, and then I just get reports and feedbacks from them. I also get information from the lecturer and I transmit to the class. So my job as a class rep, I even feel like a fraud saying I was a class rep, because it was like we're class reps. I had people helping me. So you must be able to delegate and also manage people. And then I think people that were willingly sacrificing their time and energy for me, it also stemmed from the fact that I was humble with them and I was also like friends with them. And then time management, this is no brainer. You have to manage your time very well. You don't have to get involved in everything happening. You don't have to go to all the parties happening or see all the movies. But you should have fun. And you should also sleep very well, even though I don't. But that's what doctors say. Sleep 8 hours a day. All right, so we are done with core values. So we are moving on to strategy. So these are just the values that I expect you to embody, like that sets you basically they're just like the core values that will help you achieve the success we are aiming for. So now let's go to the strategies. So the first one is attending lectures. So for me, I don't know if there's any experiment that backs this up, but for me, learning is in two forms, two phases. So the first is understanding and the other is retention. So for me, learning starts from the classroom, and then I also feel like I have an unfair advantage in the sense that my lecturers were really good. I don't think many Nigerian students can say this. My lecturers genuinely cared that we understood what they were teaching, and then there's no all those study sessions that will say A is for God, B is for me, C is for the best, and then D is for the rest of you. So we didn't have lecturers like that. We have people that actually would reiterate in class to ensure everyone understands. So for me, learning starts from being in class because right there and then, I get introduced to the topic. You know, when you also want to learn, you get introduced to the topic. For example, we want to learn Newton's laws of motion. You first want to understand what is motion, what are laws of motion, before you even start learning the laws and understanding the formula and start solving problems. So the lecturer introduces it to me. I don't have to start reading some random article. And then I also get the scope of it, of the lecture. I don't read outside. Listen, that one is for people that want to go and lecture or become professors. I always stay within whatever they're teaching. So I get to understand the topic, get introduced, see the scope of the topic, and I ask a lot of questions. Then I also ask my classmates. There are some of our classmates that will always answer questions in the class. You know, okay, this one understands this topic. I'll meet up with him after the class. And I'm also able to get people's notes. So for me, that's where understanding begins from. Then retention. The retention requires some extra steps, which I discuss in the next slide. So the first one is spaced repetition. So I'll be the first one to tell myself that I'm not a genius. I forget things a lot. If I study something, I probably forget it in a week. 2 weeks is too much. I think I lied in this slide. I forget stuff so often. So spaced repetition helps in the sense that maybe you could decide that anything they teach you, you want to read it a day or 2 days. And then for studying, I have like these 4 advice also. So the first one is jot things down. I don't know if any other person is here is like me. If you are studying and you're not writing things, it feels abstract, even if I'm able to recall. I just have to jot things down. At times I jot over and over, like while studying the course, the topic the first time, I jot. While preparing for tests, I jot. And while also preparing for exam, I also jot. For example, I'm trying to define, rather than trying to define for my brain, trying to recall, I write it down. I write it down over and over and over again. So I think it probably gives muscle memory or something. But I prefer, I like write it down a lot. Then revise on a rolling basis. Let me explain. So if you read a course this week and you want to read it next week, before you pick the next topic, you should revise the previous topic, right? So that's a rolling basis. So when you move on to the third topic, you should revise the first 2 topics before reading the third topic. By the time you move on to the fourth topic, revise the first 3 topics. Now, revising the first topic would probably take less than 5 minutes now because you've read it like 4 times already. So that's revising on a rolling basis. So by the time you are moving on to the fourth topic, you more or less don't even have to touch the first topic again because you now know it very much. So you pick second, third, and fourth. So you just keep revising on a rolling basis like that, such that at the end of the day, you probably have read the first topic 5 times, the second topic maybe 4 times, and so on and so forth. Then studying hard topics within 24 hours of being taught. So we have this lecturer, anytime you see me, because my school, FUTA, they teach as a team. So every course has about 2 or 3 lecturers taking different parts. So they will have this particular lecturer, if he's in class, is going to teach hard maths. So anytime you see me, if a course is purely theoretical, we did this course, computer aided design. We did computer aided design, which is purely computer aided design, SolidWorks or CAD. Let's just say for those of us here, let's say basically trying to use Photoshop to draw engineering stuff. And when I saw this man in class, I only knew that he's coming to teach something else entirely different. And I promise you, nobody understood what he taught in the first class. Although he tried his best, but it's just that whenever he's in class, he's there to teach hard maths. So I have this philosophy of trying to, if I'm in class and I was fortunate enough to learn from him, then I should probably visit it within the next 24 hours before I lose that advantage of learning from the lecturer, which makes a lot of sense. Then get help and notes from your friends. So there are people that write good notes. For example, someone like me, if I've studied the topic, I kid you not, I have a very good note about it. Like if, apart from being in class, if I said I've read this topic, it means I've jotted it down and I've broken it down. And I said I'm not the most smartest person. I always like things broken down to tiny, tiny, tiny bits. So if I said I have a comprehensive note about that topic, so many of our friends also have stuff like that. So instead of you consulting Wikipedia, that Indian guy on YouTube, or Khan Academy, or so on and so forth, there's someone who has done that work for you, and they have a very comprehensive note, and you can always ask from them. So you can leverage your relationship and leverage your friends. Then teaching what you know, teaching others forces you to understand the topic because you want to bring it down to everyone's level and be able to answer their questions. So yesterday I spoke on real-time notification with Django. In preparing for that particular topic, presentation, I had to start studying stuff because we have a diverse range of audience. There are people who have done far more than you in that particular domain. And if they notice that they could ask questions just to educate others, be like, okay, you didn't talk on this point. Okay, I'm going to ask the question as a way to prompt discussion in that area. So same thing, if I'm here trying to speak to everyone, I'm expecting questions and I'm also trying to deliver it as much as possible. It means I have to go extra length to study that topic. So teaching is also a way of you reinforcing what you've learned. And then it's time and energy consuming, but it's worth it. So there's no lie about that. You have to spend 2 hours of your own time, not even 2 hours, but you probably have to spend like 2 hours to prepare for it, solve questions and prepare the notes to teach people. Then you also have to spend about 2 hours teaching them. So that's about 4 hours of your time. So it's energy and time consuming. Then also set questions while studying. So this is like a database index. We are all familiar with that, right? So it helps you figure out what you forgotten in O of n time. So I have an example here. I don't know, it's not very clear, but these are just how I set the questions. So maybe I've read the definition and they gave us 2 definitions. I can ask myself, state 2 definitions of this, state the formula for this. So I just set the questions while studying. So rather than going through my bogus notes, I just go through my database index and try to, the moment I'm able to answer that question, it means I remember it and I know the topic. Now, I had issues with voluminous courses because I don't know what I don't know. Like, I don't remember what I don't remember. I don't know if that makes sense. So maybe the course is so voluminous, you started from the beginning to the end. By the time you're at the end, you've forgotten what is at the beginning, or you don't even, and you don't even know if you've forgotten it or not. So I think this helps. So at times I set as much as 80 questions, and if you are lucky enough, you also set the questions you see in the exam, because if you are setting questions across the nook and cranny of the course, your lecturer is not going to go outside. At least my lecturers didn't. Then have a mentor in your department. Have someone that is just a year above you. Maybe if you're in 100 level, there's someone in 200 level that remembers your courses, and you can always meet them at the beginning of every semester. Alpha, tell me about this particular course. The person tells you, okay, this particular course, the lecturer will not teach you well, but it will give you assignments, and those assignments are what will come out in the exam. We have lecturers like that. They don't come to class or they don't teach you well, but towards the end of the semester, they give you tutorial questions or assignments. But you know that if you study these tutorial questions very well, you are more or less already answering your exam questions. So already you know that, okay, for this particular course, this will be my approach for it. Another lecturer can say, your friend can, or your mentor can also say something like, this particular lecturer, if you come in a minute late, it won't open the door for you. You know that your first class, you are going to go early. It prepares you mentally. Then you also get notes from them and also materials from them. All right, so final word, it won't be easy, no brainer. You have to study, read here and there, and then also deny yourself some fun. You have to also constantly consider time and energy optimization. So it means you have to probably start taking transporting and the people distances that are trackable. You have to take maybe bike or Uber. You are students, you don't have money, so bike, right? So because you want to conserve energy and time, because you need energy to work, you need energy to study. So there are things that you naturally do. Maybe your friends are going home and decide to trek, but you can't trek with them because you know you have to go home and work, and you can't work if you are tired. So you have to constantly. Then maybe when it comes to doing your laundry or cooking, you have to order food every now and then. Then start strong. It's easier when you start strong, when you start with like a 4.9 in your 100 level. Then lastly, collaboration over competition. There's no use competing. Like I mentioned, a lot of my friends who are still together, I've learned so much from them. And I think I owe about 50% of my career to my friends because there are so many resources that these people shared with me. So if you come with a mindset of collaboration, if someone is good, you want to learn from them, but at the same time, you want to also give out what you have. I think it helps a lot. So that's all from me. If you have questions, I think I have.